I not? I didn't record any of this.
Wow. Wow. All right, Vikings Weekly. Here we go, round
All
two.
right, Vikings banter. We are out here. This is the most exciting game that we've probably ever had as Vikings fans. Look, I'm going to tell you right now. I didn't press record 20 minutes into our first episode. We already
So,
went heavy into all of the storylines, everything. What we're back at it. Uh, the Vikings best record that we're potentially have ever had. The most exciting game, the most on the line that we've really had, at least in a regular season game, um, in our lifetime, and a team with some of the coolest camaraderie and best storylines that we've ever had in one place. And this team has already become one of my favorite Vikings teams of all time. And the best thing about being a sports fan, especially sometimes like with a season like this, with like a hodgepodge misfit type of situation, this team like snuck up into our good graces and turns into like one of the most fondest teams in our heart probably forever. And you didn't even see it coming. This is the best type of season for a fan. We got Johnny Sweets with us today. Let's get into it.
what's going on? How's everyone doing? Exciting. This is the best game that we've had in, I would say, franchise history, straight up. When we were 15-1, went to the playoffs in 1998, Brett Favre 2009, et cetera, et cetera. But this game is literally as sick as it gets. It doesn't get any better than this. The way that we are playing, the way that we're balling out, it's amazing. It's fun to see. I can't believe that we're in the position where we're at. 2 14-2 teams playing one another is incredible. There's nothing that I would have anticipated coming into this year that made me believe that this team was going to do what they did. Sam Darnold has been playing out of his mind. The defense has been playing with a sense of cohesion and togetherness that I've never seen, even in Mike Zimmer defense. This defense to me
Mm-hmm.
is better than Mike Zimmer's defense. So, with all things considered, this is the game that is must watch football. Get your mom, your dad, your uncles, your aunts, everyone around the TV and do this and watch this because this is going to be a fun one. It's going to come down to the wire and things are going to be exciting here. Detroit is one of the biggest pass play teams in the whole league. We're actually one deep play better than them. So you're going to see a ton of play action. You're going to see a lot of yards. You're going to see a lot of scoring. So this is must-watch TV. People are punching each other in the mouths and going after it, and this is where we're at.
You know, to have this much on the line going into this part of the season is crazy. The fact
Mhm.
that we're either going to be home games till the Super Bowl or fifth seed, which one, it just proves how great our division is and all these types of things. We might even change the way that they do seeding. Honestly, like I think it'll even get into weird discussions after stuff like this if it happens too often. Like if our teams in the NFC North just maybe because we are so young, like what happens if this continues to happen? They're gonna go, look, we have
Mhm.
to change this up. But I like a game that has a lot on the line. It's fun to watch um, with this much intensity and have to prove it out. And it's so interesting to have us in Detroit be in this scenario together. Because we've been counted out definitely this
Yes.
season, and they've been counted out for the last like however many years they've ever been a franchise. So it's not one of those teams that we hate. It's also not one of those teams that I'm very scared of, even though I get it that they're really, really good. Um, because we've always had their number, right? Like perennially, Detroit has been the team that is an easy, like at least one win, generally two wins. We're going into a space where Detroit's knocked us off, what, four times in a row now? So we do have to be. Is that right? Like I think they've maybe four going on to their fifth, or they've knocked us off three times. Would be like the longest amount of the most amount of times they've ever beat us in a row. Um, but who this we are in full playoff atmosphere.
Regardless of what happened with record wise and all this and that, you can throw all this out. Detroit's got a lot of injuries on defense, but yet they're scoring a lot of points right now. We are surprisingly injury free for the most part. I guess Patrick Jones is going to be out this game, but looks like Aaron Jones will be playing. So one of the Joneses is down, but we'll have Dallas Turner stepping in, our rookie first round pick, instead of Patrick Jones. So that's good to see. But but some of these things that this storyline is absolutely incredible. Winner,
Does this come down to coach of the year? This game?
it could be, but I think Kevin O'Connell's already had it locked up. I mean,
Okay.
how can you not give it to him at this point, especially with what our roster and what we've had to do with starting Sam Darnold and giving him a 1 year. He was supposed to be our bridge quarterback here. This is supposed to be a rebuild for us. We're supposed to have 5.5 wins or 4.5 wins, depending on what book you looked at. But yeah, I mean, it just comes down to this: are we going to be the number 1 seed or the number 5 seed? Are we going to have a road playoff game, or are we going to have a home playoff game through the NFC Championship game if we do end up winning the division? I mean,
Mhm.
just incredible what this team, what this coach has done through this year for this year. I'm dumbfounded. I am just absolutely astounded by this team. I think this is the best, if not this is the best season that's exceeded expectations radically. There's nothing that even touches. Um, you look at the 15-1 season or the Brett Favre years, expectations were really high and we hit them. But to have 4.5, 5 win type season and to be stuck at 14 wins here going to week 17 is incredible. Week 18 is incredible. I'm still dumbfounded at no one saw this coming. If you look at early in the year, um, Luke and Katya and I were all discussing this, and it's just there was nothing. We were just trying to
What?
suck and get a first round pick last year, and now to get to the point where we're just considered left for dead and finishing last. A lot of people had the Bears finishing ahead of us, with Caleb
Mhm.
Williams being a rookie, with guys like DJ Moore and Keenan Allen coming in, big free agent pickups that they had for wide receiver, and I guess they traded for DJ Moore, but I'm blown away by this team week in and week out. They continue to prove us wrong. I've been pessimistic all year about going into Seattle. Even you can look back at the recordings. I've been pessimistic about the Packers even last week, and we continue to get it done. We continue to get things done. We continue to turn the ball over. We continue to have end zone touchdown celebrations and funny dances with Cam Bynum and Josh Metellus leading the charge. We continue to get after the quarterback. We continue to turn the ball over. It's been amazing watching this team in this season, the way that they've won games as well, the way that Sam Darnold's chucking the pigskin, Jordan Addison being the complement to the best receiver in the league, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Naylor finishing strong last game. He had his little breakout game. So I have nothing but utter shock, amazement, surprise at this season. So hats
Mhm.
off to this team. That's all I got to say. And going into week 18, I literally cannot believe we're fighting for the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. It just blows my mind. I can't say that enough. So,
Again, I think if there was a statistic for like the playmakers, so it's either like guys that are getting tackles, guys getting interceptions, guys touching the football. I bet this team has the best record for having first year playmakers all on the same team. Because all the guys around the ball outside of Justin Jefferson, um, it's like their first year on the squad. The defense, like not only does Kevin O'Connell deserve Coach of the Year, I don't know how it works, but Brian Flores also deserves consideration for that. I don't know if it ever goes to coordinators, but what he's done within this defense, if Kevin O'Connell gets Coach of the Year, that's great. I love that. But I also put a lot of that on what Brian Flores has done. I look at it as like a unit that they've done that together because his defensive unit has saved every every single time that like Darnold does a great job of not losing the ball, but sometimes it's like we go 3-and-out late in the game and we're still down. But you have this weird amount of trust where it's like, look, Flores' defense will make sure this is 3-and-out. We'll get the ball in a pretty good spot, and then Darnold can do with second effort, make it happen and close the game. We've seen that happen a lot this year. So the camaraderie from top to bottom, from Quezzy down to like Jalen Naylor. I go, this is unbelievable, like a top to bottom franchise. Again, we walked into the season as like super fans. I didn't know any of these guys' names.
Yeah.
We were like Grenier, Hill, like Grenard, Cashman, Van
Yeah.
Ginkel, like Murphy Jr. We're like, okay, I kind of remember him. Okay, we're getting used to Gilmore. Cam Bynum shows up out of nowhere. We're like, this is like the best energy guy ever. Metellus, I didn't realize he was such a locker room guy. Like
Hmm.
the Brian Robinson, 96 questions turns into Tell Us with Metellus, and you're like, oh, he's that character. Um, all of that. You go, there's so many factors of like specialness to watching
Yeah.
this as a fan. It just all encompassing, exciting. I don't want the lights to turn off on this season. I want to see us get Minnesota. We do need to win this game because
Yeah. I mean, it's
going through Minnesota really, really does matter when it comes to like if it's going to be the conference championship division, like all these huge games, this we do need to be there. Um, because it comes down to those last moments, and this will allow like the US Bank Stadium just really become prolific to go. This is a very difficult place to play. They've already said it. We've already heard it from guys like Bill Belichick. But the more that momentum really gets going throughout the offseason, that excitement does carry a team to New Orleans.
Listen, how we started off the year. We had our number two cornerback, Mekhi Blackman, tore his ACL. We had our sixth round, or was it a fourth round pick? Um,
Tragically
Jackson
pass.
tragically passed away, was killed in a car accident, right? We lost
A
Danielle
week
Hunter.
later, Addison gets a Dewey. Like this
Addison
is like
gets
set up towards like
Addison. Yeah, absolutely. Forgot about that. Addison getting a Dewey. We had Danielle Hunter get signs with the Texans right away. We have Kirk Cousins walk. I mean, it's just thing after thing after thing happening. We have JJ McCarthy tore his meniscus. They decided, oh, we're going to go in and repair it and have surgery. So we're like, shoot, guys, we didn't even know if Darnold was going to start the
well,
year at quarterback.
JJ like wins the job and then
Straight up
has
was
to
what, yeah. Good point. Was winning the job in preseason, absolutely killing it in preseason. We're like, do we start this guy?
yeah,
And
we're like, okay, let's do
the
this.
next day comes in Monday with a swollen knee. So they're like, oh my God, we actually gonna have to start Sam Darnold? Are you joking me? He was supposed to be the backup, if anything. I mean, we were trying to just do a wait and see. Kevin O'Connell comes out, he goes, JJ McCarthy's way ahead of schedule. We're like, guys, he might even start, right? And then we
And they're
sign a couple
debating
of
whether
these,
they do the quick little cleanup knee thing or like the
right?
year-long thing.
The
And I
bucket
feel like they
handle where
didn't
they do the
float that out.
trim.
They didn't float that to the fans. They were telling us a little bit of swelling, nothing crazy. Boom, we're sitting them for the year. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
But
I
now it
just
does. Now it
I'm
does.
I'm looking, yeah, I'm seeing like, wow, I don't even know how we put it all together. It's astounding. In my wildest imagination, my most delusionalness as a fan, I did not see this team doing what they've been doing. To see Andrew Van Ginkel play the way he's played, to see Jonathan Grenard come in and play almost as well as Danielle Hunter has been playing, to see our cornerback, what we signed Gilmore really late in the preseason. I mean, he didn't even play in the preseason. He had to come in and replace Mekhi Blackman. To see that Shaq Griffin playing like the way that he did, to see all year long he's been playing well, to see Byron Murphy go in and take the Pro Bowl. We didn't even think he was that great. Remember how he was getting beat a lot last year?
Well, and who's
Um,
that? Who's that one? Like, who's our first round draft pick that we cut? It's like right, he did fine in the preseason, then we cut him. Our that
oh,
the weird like quiet guy that's always gone. He's been like 3 years ago we drafted him. 2 years ago we drafted him. The
I
gamer, like
Lou, oh, Lewis Seen. Lewis Seen.
yeah, like he kind of was
We ended
playing
up
well. He was
cutting
putting his
Lewis
hat on
Seen.
the
Yeah.
ball, and we cut him.
Yeah, he had a nice couple plays in preseason, and we're like, is he going to make the roster? Doesn't make it. Signs with the Jets practice squad, and we're like, dude, we suck. We can't draft anyone. And then Kwesi ends up hitting on literally every single one of these free agent signings. It's unbelievable what he's done. And the cap space and the money and all this that we've had to save during this time is unbelievable. It blows my mind to see what this team has done. And I'm just astounded, and I'm just excited for going into week 18 here that we have an opportunity to take everything we've ever wanted. To start the year, this is about as good as possible of an outcome as you can possibly expect. We're up there with the Chiefs being the number one seed there in the AFC. We can possibly be that in the NFC if we just win one more stinking game. Detroit has all these guys out as well on defense. We should be able to take advantage on offense, but I just have a feeling that this will come down to the wire. It'll be a high scoring shootout. Both teams love running play action. Both teams like checking it down the field. Both teams have a strong running back. Mind you, Jameer Gibbs is going to be the only one running it. We had David Montgomery the last time. Gibbs gashed us pretty well. They have some gamers. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have Khalif Raymond, who's killed us in years past, is coming back at
Right.
wide receiver. We have their tight end Sam Laporta, excuse me, who we traded for indirectly for TJ Hawks, and they ended up drafting Laporta with that pick.
Who
So
is legit.
legit as
Yeah.
they come. Jamison Williams, who we actually traded with Detroit for, we traded down, and ends up just having an awesome year. I guess close to. I mean, if he's not in 1,000, he's damn close. But
You
it's
know
just
what's funny is they've drafted so well. We now Quezi, I love Quezi. I think he's the best GM in the league, but he might be one of the worst drafting GMs ever. But no one is better than him in the offseason. And no one's better than him even around the trade deadlines. Bringing in guys like Daniel Jones, even just those weird little fillers where it's like, hey, even if something happens, we don't have to see Nick Mullins put a helmet on again. Like that's such a blessing for this team. And they continue to backfill. Like this team really understands like next man up. Even JJ McCarthy, he's done such a good job. Like, dude, I love watching him on Instagram. Like his reels or his stories are all about like promoting Darnold, promoting Addison, like hyping guys up, even in the stories and tagging them up on articles of their numbers and what they've done this year. Throwing in little God things in the middle of that too. So the whole chemistry and what's happened to get to this point is just crazy. This game is going to be the I this now with all that being said, I don't think that they can keep up to what you're gonna have to outscore us and because they're so beaten down on defense, we're gonna really be able, I think, to generate a lot of points. And I don't see our defense doesn't, they do bend, don't break better than we've really seen in a long time, if not ever, from our squad. Where it's like, people will put yards on us if they're superior players. Like I'm on Ron St. Brown. I can't say his name. He'll have like a game. Gibbs will have a game, but I don't think they're going to get in the end zone enough to actually overcome what we're going to put down.
I think it comes down to the turnover battle. Can we not make mistakes offensively? Can we not do stupid things? Like Darnold cannot throw interceptions like he did last game. That really screwed us up. The way when he threw that interception, Green Bay went down immediately and scored a touchdown there. And that really killed us. And I think we have to watch out for things like that. We have to make our field goals. This Will Reichert guy hitting the crossbar and
Dude,
the
I said
the
it.
upright. It just not really not great to see. He's definitely struggling. He got an extra help out there on a defensive lineup in the neutral zone that we knew that was bullshit. They tried to ice him late. Um, they're trying. The reason why they're trying to get in his head. Our kicker is going to be shaky, and if it comes down to some
We shouldn't use
three,
them.
4 points,
We shouldn't use
I'm
them.
I'm really worried about that aspect of the
I
game.
honestly think like Quezi or Kevin O'Connell, Big Cock, they should call him and say, "Hey, bud, like we'll put you on the plane and we're gonna put you in the jersey and shit for your family, but like you're not gonna touch the field this season again." Because there's too much on the line to have some weird. Not only he tweaked his leg, so he's not going to be able to kick the ball downfield the way we need him to. Like 55 plus, I think, is out the window now. And then now that he's in his head about shit, not only is his leg tweaked, but his head's fucked. I
Oh
don't like
yeah.
as a Vikings fan, I'm out on the kicker. Like I don't even think we should use him.
this early. You think so?
Dude, I was saying this from the time he tweaked his leg. We've seen this as Vikings fans. Like, I don't want to see a game on the line with this Will Reichert. No, because it's gonna get burned into my head, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna have PTSD and hate everything Reichert.
I'm not too concerned about him because he's been playing well and kicking well all year. But to see the two misses like he did, I just don't like how he hit it short on that long field goal attempt. Like,
Yeah,
what's up with that, man? I mean, I thought you had this giant leg or whatever. Do
he
we
tweaked
have
it
to
though. He's
worry about
hurt.
that? Mm.
Yeah,
So it's something, and there's definitely a cause of concern if it comes down to him kicking a field goal late and we need him to nail one and he can't do it, then it's like I'm going to be biting my nails. And I'll tell you what, it's not really like great to hear to see their kickers shaky, but I don't, I don't really know what to expect with this guy. It's a scary time to be a Minnesota Viking fan right now because considering we have so much to lose right now, but we have so much to gain as well. And usually in these situations, the team lets us down. But again, Detroit's had a way shittier franchise in years past. This is by far their best record, and this is only our second best record. Right? We've went
yeah.
15-1 before. We can tie our win total, but not our win record or a win loss record. Excuse me. So we'll never be. 15-1 again. It won't happen because we have what, an extra game, but
The
we can
only
be
real loss we
can be
had this
15.
season was versus the Rams. Look,
Yeah,
Detroit
on the
game, it
road
was a
there.
barn burner and it was scary. Rams game,
I
we got pummeled. And it didn't even like, it might not even show it completely in the score, but everything about that game, we got outcoached to like the max. And so that's fine. You can have one big slip up throughout the game or season. That's fine. Usually people have slip ups for 5, 6 weeks and still get into the playoffs. So that's fine. But uh it comes down to is it really just comes down to coaching at this point. I can really trust in our coaching. Detroit has a beautiful storyline in itself. I love their coach. He's dope. He did an amazing job last week of like showing his balls and going, look, we're not resting anybody. We're gonna play a meaningless game and we're gonna play it as hard as we possibly can and close out this season with momentum. And that did scare me a little bit because those guys were playing just for the love of the game. They're playing a little bit for maybe some like contractual like elements because you get a little extra $500,000 if you get 1,000 yards of receiving, those types of things that maybe are in their contract. So the coach was doing good on some of the starters with that. But to watch those guys ball out and also like just continue to play competitively, that scared me because I'm like, holy shit, these guys just like playing for their coach. Uh, so there, I do love what Detroit has, and I'm
Yeah,
excited to ruin their story this next week.
I am as well. I am as well. Everyone's just been talking about them winning the NFC all year long, and we have a possibility to sneak in to slip one past the goalie here and get it done. Um, Look for Detroit also. What's so annoying about playing this team to go for fourth down? Anytime there's a 4th and 3, 4th and 2, they're going for it. 4th and 1, 4th and inches is a guarantee. No matter where they are on the field, they're going to go for it.
They
And
are
that's
built
that's
gritty
what
now.
that's what Dan Campbell coaches them to do. That's their game plan going in. They're going to have sort of a look of desperation a little bit. They still have that chip on their shoulder that, oh, we're the Lions. No one's really, given us credit we've deserved, even though they have been getting credit a little bit. But
They've
damn,
gotten
Dan
way more
Campbell.
media coverage credit than we have this season. But
Hmm.
again, the Lions, this is the first time that they've ever had like real grit. Like
Hmm.
Dan Campbell is everything you want in a badass head coach in the NFL.
He
Like
is. But we have a
it's
better one, though. I really believe that Kevin O'Connell's getting it done. Sam Darnold's playing at an all-time high right now.
and Flores is
Between
way
the
cooler than
Falcons
Campbell
game
too.
and the Packers game, this has been sick to watch. This team is getting it done week in and week out. We continue to take W's. We're on a nice little win streak right now, if I'm not mistaken. What are we at? 10 wins in a row now, or how many are we at, LJ? But
No, we're yet 9. I think we did a streak of 9. This would be
that's
10.
right. So hit 7, 7, 8, and yeah, we're 8. Was it an 8 or 9?
Okay. We're right
Anyways,
there.
but we're right there. We're right there.
And we slipped up. We had two losses back to back. That got sketchy for a second.
Yes.
We lose against, obviously, we knew it was our division rival. We knew this last game of the season was going to count. We lose in a very emotional game. We then have a short week. We have to go to the Rams. And that's when we got absolute just
Mhm.
pounded. So we're leaving the Rams game. We were there and we go, this might be one of those seasons. It was the type of loss
Right.
in the way that like Puka comes out of nowhere, finally gets
Right.
healthy and slaughtered us. And we go, wait, have we not even played a real NFL team yet? Was this the
Right.
first NFL team we
Yeah, we
played?
were talking about the Texans being worse and the Jets second half was
And
really
then San
bad for
Francisco,
us.
like they
But
sucked. We thought they were good when we played them, but we are like, oh, they're not even good anymore.
right. Right. Yeah. They had a downward year, or I should say a down year. Um, Purdy didn't really play that well. We killed him offensively, on and on and on. But yeah, we're at 9 wins right now, LJ. That's tied for fourth longest in Vikings history. Number one was 13 wins. That was in 1974 into 75. And then we had number two is 1969. And then we had another one, 1999 to 2000. We had 10 wins in a row. But we're poised to get 10 wins to get the number one seed and to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Are you kidding me right now? We have so much to look forward to. And I think it's going to come down to injuries. Detroit's not going to stop us. They're not going to be able to hang with Minnesota offensively. And if we turn the ball over, if Darnold throws stupid picks or there's some stupid fumbles along the way, that's something to watch out for and keep an eye on. But honestly, we turn other teams over just as well as they do. They don't really scare me as much defensively as Detroit should be scared of us, I should say.
And our team,
Um,
this again, we first time were fully healthy last week, and guys are just starting to turn on. Dallas Turner
yep.
is finally getting reps, and he gets
Yep.
a pick, right? And
Mhm.
also Pat Jones initially at the beginning of the season, he's like an enforcer, getting like a lot of different uh lot of sacks early on. We lose him for a second, right? Now he's finally back, fully healthy.
He's he's out actually this
He
week.
is out.
So Dallas Turner will be getting the start. Patrick Jones has been ruled out.
Okay, that sucks
But we
because he
have Dallas Turner is now going to get the start. So he's had 3 games in a row with at least a sack or an interception. So he's playing really hot. He got a sack on Jordan Love. He got an interception the week before, and then we had another what he had a sack the week prior to that. So he's playing some good football. He hasn't had a whole lot of snaps, but Kevin O'Connell raved about him and said he's really peaking right now. He's done very well. He's done what they've asked of him. So unfortunately, Pat Jones being out is going to hurt us, but I do like the upside that Dallas Turner brings. Being a rookie first round draft pick, we had to trade up to get him. I don't know if you remember this. We
right.
had to give up some late round picks or whatever. All
And that's
indications were
that
that the
clip where
Falcons.
Kevin O'Connell's sitting back talking to Quezzy, and Quezzy's like, who would we get? Who would we actually go for? And he's like,
Yep. And
Turner.
O'Connell's like, ooh,
And then after
ooh.
he after so
Yeah.
Quezzy then comes back a little later, he's like, we got him. Like Kevin O'Connell's like, what? Who? Turner. And he's like, you see it in his eyes, he's like,
Yep.
holy shit.
DT, Dallas Turner, baby. So looking forward to this one. I'm hoping he gets to the quarterback a little bit. There's not a whole ton of game film on him just because he doesn't have a whole lot of snaps.
Being
But
at the Rams
so
game, this is the one thing I really like to see about Turner. This was
mhm.
before Turner was getting any snaps. You get like some random little special teams snaps and stuff like that.
Yeah,
He did not leave Flores's side. The entire game, you would see Flores and Dallas Turner would be right behind him. So already that early in the season, you could tell that Flores had Dallas Turner like under his wing a little bit. And I think he was giving him some of that tough love that we heard back in the day that happened to Tua. But I don't think Dallas Turner's a pussy like Tua. And so he's like, I think he was giving him his tough love. And I think what that means with a guy like Flores is goes, you're probably the biggest superstar on our team that nobody even knows about yet. Just follow me. I will get you to where you need to go in your career. And it felt like that type of energy coming from both of them. So I'm excited to see Dallas Turner at this time of the season. Finally, let's take the reins off this guy and really prove the NFL who he is. Because when we picked him up, we were all super excited about it. We saw internally the organization was excited about it. So he does need to prove it though, because we haven't seen a lot from a guy that we traded up for.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to Dallas Turner. playing in place of Patrick Jones. That'll be a good one for us. Who else do we got? Gilmore's healthy. Ivan Pace is back healthy.
Wasn't Redmond out for a second and now
He's
he's back?
back. He's
Yeah.
back. He had a concussion, so he'll be playing. Um,
Cashman's back fully healthy.
Fully
You know, he
healthy.
he
Van
he
Ginkel's
plugs
good
right
to
back
go.
in.
Bernard's good to go. Grugier Hill is questionable, and then we have another cornerback. Fabian Moreau is questionable. So those are the two guys that might not play. But Camus Grugier Hill we normally have Pace or Cashman start in his place. So I'm not really too worried about that depth, but
And then have you seen, dude, I saw this graphic of all the places Metellus has lined up this year.
it's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He's lined up in like strong safety, outside linebacker, inside, like, and just he slowly is growing on me as like one of my favorite players. Him and Cam Bynum obviously are so easy to love, with their personalities. Can you explain to me how does Murphy get the Pro Bowl before like a Can Bynum? You know, from like my perspective, it seems like Can Bynum was like the guy that was making a lot of things happen. You'd see him around the ball, having interceptions. Obviously, he's doing his dance. Murphy gets the Pro Bowl nod. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised. I didn't realize that he was a Pro Bowler. Um, is it
LJ,
just
he's been killing it this year. He has 6 interceptions. It's one of the top ones in the NFL, and he's been playing lockdown all year.
Has he not done that quietly to you or no? Or am I just an idiot? Am I not watching the game tight enough?
He's leading our team with 6 interceptions. So I mean, like he's up there.
Yeah,
That's a
I guess
very
he
good
it
game.
feels like he's done that quietly to me.
I don't know what
But
to
I mean,
say.
I'm an idiot. But it's good to see. I mean, like the fact that you have these guys, like seeing all these different Pro Bowlers, a bunch of guys that we didn't even know their names before the season started. It's awesome to see. Anybody on our team that didn't get the Pro Bowl nod that you were surprised by?
I would have given it to Cashman. I thought he really deserved it. He's been playing well all year. But again, it's one of those things where Pro Football Focus, there's a lot of nice linebackers there. Um, Jordan Addison, I guess, in maybe another, if he had played a few more games and scored a few more touchdowns, he would have gotten. He's had 9 touchdowns. He's on the brink for another 1,000 yard season. I think if he has to have like 100 and something, so he's on the way looking out. I mean, I would have liked to see Christian Darris. I get it, but of course he was injured, so I can't really comment on that one. Um, Anyone else? I mean, Sam Darnold made it, so that's the one that we were kind of like, "Whoa, is he going to make it or not?" I mean, you
Yeah.
can argue for other guys instead of him. There's a lot of good quarterbacks out there, but probably Cashman is the main one. Gilmore didn't do enough for me. He's been beat quite a bit. Same thing with but Bynum, I don't think he had enough interceptions. I think he forced some fumbles and whatnot. But I'm gonna look at where he's at with interceptions wise.
Yeah.
I don't think he was really. I mean, he's done a lot for our team in terms of like building
He's a
character.
glue guy.
He for
I
sure.
mean, yeah.
But unfortunately, I think he'll walk after this year. Sadly, there's a lot of there's like a video of him leaving the stadium and looking back. Cam Bynum has 3 interceptions this year, so decent,
So it was more
decent.
turnover. So he's getting, but he had fumble.
Still in his rookie deal. He's going to be getting paid a shit ton this offseason. I think Metellus should have made it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
He's been balling out. So that's another one. Metellus or Cashman would have been guys that I would have put on there. Um,
So
I mean,
who are so fearful of losing this year? So we might lose Bynum. Why? I didn't
Cam
see there's a
Bynum.
cryptic photo or something.
There's a video of him leaving the stadium and kind of looking around like it was his last home game, and it could very well have been his last, considering all the other things that have happened. So,
All right.
um, with all the other guys that we have to pay, I should say. So, um,
We are a team now. As long as we can keep Flores, which obviously is going to still be up in the air, we're going to be able to get cheap, talented guys forever if we keep Flores around on this team because they're just going to want to be around him.
yeah, yeah. So I'm hoping it goes well for this squad, but I'm really nervous about this game, just like I have been with every Vikings game all year. So, but what can we really do at this point? We just have to
How
cross.
much could they let you down at this point? Now you're emotionally invested, right? Like they could
Um,
hurt you.
I think it hurts us quite a bit if we don't make the playoffs, or if we don't. We're going to make the playoffs if we don't get the number one seed, because then we have to go on the road right away. And my fear is that we just lose right away, and that we end up, you know, going on the road and then losing at
Who so I guess if we
division
do you have
games.
any of the what would the expectations be who we play
Yeah,
depending on
so
this game?
let's do the playoff machine here. So if we end up losing, so we got the final week. We put it in here. So week if the Viking, say if we end up losing, we would play. There's a bunch of scenarios that would happen. So we'd have to have, let's say Washington wins. Let's say the Falcons win. Let's say Falcons play the Panthers. Eagles win. We would be at Tampa Bay as far as I see right now. Let me see if I put in the Rams winning. Let's do that one. Let's say Green Bay is going to win next week. Let's say the Buccaneers win. Oh, let's see. Let's see if the Saints win. Well, okay. So if the Saints beat the Buccaneers, we would go at Atlanta. But let's see if the Falcons have to beat the Panthers, that would happen. So theoretically, we could play Atlanta or we could play at Tampa Bay.
And I would rather play Atlanta.
Of course, yeah,
Yeah.
we've beaten Atlanta prior.
Wait, so
Um,
is Kirk not even to play throughout the playoffs?
no, they're riding with
Oh,
it.
so
I
they're
think
just they've the season's over.
essentially, yeah. I see if the
Wow.
Cardinals win that one. So yeah, let's see if the Buccaneers win, no matter what, they're going to be hosting a playoff game, and it'll probably be the loser between the Vikings and let's see that. Yep. So at this point, let's say if there's a tie, what happens there? If there's a tie, we're the fifth seed even. Wow. Okay.
No, okay, so but if we what who's going to be coming to Minnesota if we win?
It would be the it would be the worst seeded playoff team. So it would see well, we'll have to see what happens between Green Bay and the Eagles, and we have to see what happens between the Redskins and or the Commanders and the Rams. And it would be the
Damn, dude.
worst
See, I would
seeded
rather
team. So
go I would rather play the
it
Falcons.
could be Green Bay, Washington, or Detroit that we host, depending on if the
See,
Eagles.
I oddly enough, I like the road through Atlanta or Tampa way more than I like any of those teams right away.
But then we'd be on the road immediately next week against the. Let's see. So if Detroit wins, we would be the fifth seed. Then we would be on the road then against the Eagles or the Rams, depending. Or we would have to be, I guess, in no scenario, the. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, Green Bay would then be playing the Detroit Lions in the divisional round if they beat the Eagles. And then we would probably be on the road playing the Eagles or the Rams then in that next scenario.
And those are both horrible places for us to play right now.
Or we would play actually, no. That's not true. We'd be playing the Redskins or the Commanders or be the next high seed. So no matter what, if Green Bay beats the Eagles, which looks like that's the seeding, they would play the Lions the next round. Makes sense?
Yeah.
And then the Vikes would play, let's see, we would play the Rams or the Redskins or the Commanders, looks like, at their place. No. Let me see how this works. So then we got to go.
Interesting.
Can I go playoffs then or what?
It would be so weird if we had to turn around and play. If we win and then had to play Detroit again, that's that to me that's not an ideal scenario.
So if we beat, let's say,
That's a nightmare.
this is saying if we lose to Detroit, we would have to beat the Buccaneers at home or the Falcons, depending on how Week 18 played
And
out.
those are both easy.
Not easy. Baker Mayfield against Sam Darnold, that's not an easy out. But if we win that game, we potentially could be playing the Eagles or the Rams at their home stadium the next round. I do not believe the next one we would not be playing. If they both win, it would be Detroit then the following week.
Wow.
If the Eagles and the Rams both win their games and the Vikings win, then we would have a revenge game against Detroit at Detroit because we would be the lowest seed.
Is
That's
there
what's
any
happening.
scenario where we played Detroit and the Packers?
No.
Okay.
Oh, only if we yes, there is. If we win and get the number one overall seed, and Detroit and let's say Green Bay beats Eagles, then we play Green Bay. And then we would play the Lions if they won their next two games at home. So yes, if we win, we could theoretically play Green Bay and then the Lions again.
Jesus, dude.
So I don't like that. I don't like playing either of
I mean,
those.
it would be the most
Green
fun
Bay to
thing
me is
ever.
sneaky good. I think they do beat the Eagles at home. I see it. I see it clear as day.
Yeah.
So,
Eagles, I'm not scared of the Eagles down the stretch because only because they like if Saquon even gets dinged up at all, it's over. It
and
doesn't even matter.
this is also saying that the Commanders beat the Cowboys week 18. Now, if that changes, then a bunch of other things could happen. We could theoretically play the Commanders if they beat the Eagles. And then Green Bay would then be they would be on the road playing the Lions if they beat the Buccaneers. So I don't know. We're talking here a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks for bearing with us with that. But I see what you're saying, LJ. If Detroit wins, it's not the worst thing in the road to go at Tampa Bay and then at Detroit.
Yeah. Or if some reason we go to Atlanta, that's just fun.
Atlanta would have to beat the Panthers,
There'd be a
and
lot of scenarios
the
that have to
Saints
happen.
would have to beat the Buccaneers.
Oh. Okay, that's
But
not
the
gonna happen.
Saints are looking really bad. So
Yeah, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Atlanta is pretty much mathematically out of it in my mind. I don't think those two things are going to happen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
something to keep an eye on, though. We will know all these scenarios going into that Sunday night football game. We're going to be the last game to play in the regular season, and that'll be a fun one. I don't believe there's a Monday night game, as far as I know. I don't think so.
it honestly is one of those things. If we get through the gauntlet of what the NFC is this year, I honestly think the Super Bowl is just gonna be a fun game.
Mm,
I'm just not scared of the Chiefs. I mean, I think that they're the obvious group to just like get in. They're high powered and everything, but I think we would match up well.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Especially Detroit having all their injuries now. That this feels good if we win this week. It feels
If I
good
was a
because
Detroit fan, I'd be miserable right now. I'd be so unhappy that on the best team that we've ever developed, and it took a few years to like build all the pieces, we're
Mhm.
just like sitting here. And then all of your pieces have got injured. There's no way Detroit is going to the Super Bowl. They're too dung up. They have absolutely no depth. Like anybody who gets to the big game, you're going to lose some guys along the way. It's just the way that it works. And can't afford to lose anybody.
I would agree. Yeah, if you go down their injury list, it's pretty staggering what they have. Guys that are on injured reserve for them. Let's go through it. Place kicker Michael Badgley, Netani Muti, their guard, Nate Lynn, defensive end, offensive tackle Connor Galvin, Antoine Green, wide receiver, John Kaminsky, defensive end, Marcus Davenport, former Viking, Kyle Pecco, defensive tackle, Derek Barnes. I mean, just on and on. Ennis
Yeah,
Rakestrack,
crazy.
cornerback, Malcolm Rodriguez at linebacker, Makai Wingo, defensive tackle, Alam McNeil, defensive tackle, Khalil Dorsey, cornerback, Aiden Hutchinson, out. He said, should we go to the Super Bowl? I keep telling these guys that I'm gonna make it. I'm like, bro, you just destroyed your leg. Carlton Davis, their top cornerback, injured reserve out. David Montgomery out. They got dudes like Craig
Dude,
Reynolds that are
that's
running
like
up
I would be
shifts.
so mad. That
Yeah,
is
I mean, there's just a
incredible.
lot.
All right, we lost John. Where's he at? He's back.
I'm
There
back.
he is. All right, I don't even know what we
I
were
don't know
talking
what
about before we
happened there.
lost you, but let's get into scores, rock it, roll it, and we'll get out of here and start watching this game.
Perfect. I'm going 44-38 Minnesota. I think we do just enough to get over that hump there. I think Detroit is desperate. They're going to go for it on fourth down. Their defense cannot stop our offense. There's too many flaws right now with their injuries that they have. But they do put up 38 points, which is scary to see going in as a number one seed, but we get it done. 44-38 Minnesota.
I love that. I think it's high scoring. It's gonna get dirty. I wish we could get 50 points. I don't think it's gonna happen. I
Mm.
do like I think 38, like 38-28. I think we actually hold them a little bit. I think it gets messier than we think just with the way it goes. But yeah, 38-28.
Damn. All right, Vikes.
Oh, Vice, baby. I am like, I don't see a way that we don't get. I think we go all the way. We have all of the juice right now. The
Mm-hmm.
camaraderie, the way that locker room set up, the way that even all the coaches with Flores like needing to prove that he can be the biggest, baddest coach in the league. There's just so many guys on prove it deals. We have the perfect sauce, uh, all around. Darnold, all of it. I want Quezzy to be in a like a nightmare positive scenario this offseason going, how do we continue this level of success with all these guys that are deserving of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think we got the squad. I couldn't be more emotionally invested. I would be surprised if we lose at any point here on out.
I like it. We'll touch base here. We'll have a playoff edition of Vikings Weekly here, so everyone hold your breath. Hopefully, we get through this together and in one piece, and no more injuries. And all I want is to have a first round bye, have all our guys to get better, have some tape on the next team, and we go from there. I like it. I like it. Keep pushing forward, guys. Stay positive this week, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Skol. Love you all. God bless.